Today's show. Before I get into the video, I want people to know I had a strike on this channel for about a week. Not many people subbed over to on my blue channel. I've been uploading daily over there. So if you haven't seen any of those videos or subbed to the channel, now is the time to do it. Some of you are obviously, the majority of you are familiar with the situation on YouTube, the fact that I have to bounce around channels. We all get it. But for those of you who are new, just make sure you sub to the new channels. I get taken down quickly. People forget. They're like, where have you been? I thought you left YouTube. I never left. I didn't go anywhere. This is just constantly real censorship that people such as myself deal with, not the quote-unquote censorship that people in the alt-right media claim to have done to them. I've just constantly been shut down but never canceled because I am not going to be canceled, nor will I ever allow anyone to cancel me. In fact, I'll cancel them permanently, if you catch my drift. Anyway, make sure you sub to the other channels. The video, I have a couple videos linked below. Click on those videos. There's tons to catch up on if you haven't, especially with the food shortages. You want to make sure you see those videos. They're very important. There have been massive fires throughout the country at food processing plants. All of it's done on purpose. We all know why. They've told us time and time again that a food shortage is coming. So obviously you're prepared, but make sure you sub to that channel. Check out some of those videos. I'll be uploading over there new videos as well this weekend. So you'll want to check those out. Make sure you sub. Take the time now. I'll pause the video here for you. Go ahead and do it for me. Okay, good. Hopefully you guys subscribe. Now, I want to talk about the truth being revealed because the truth is going to come out. One of the things that many people forget, because I always hear people talk about a new world order, it's already here, it's already here, it's already here. The pieces are in place. The people are in the positions they need to be. A new world order is not in, yes, technically are they in control? Yes. But a new world order per se isn't in place until all democracies and all governments are destroyed. So one of the things that they're going to have to do, and they're planning on doing it, is revealing the truth about elections, how the elections are quote unquote rigged, but they're not really rigged. They're just fake. They're fictitious. Your vote never counted. It doesn't count. These people are put in positions. They're chosen, hand selected by people way above the government who control way more important things than just policies and countries. Now, what I mean by this is going to be revealed is what you can expect to see coming, because the writing is on the wall with how we're seeing a narrative about how Republicans are going to take over in the fall, in those elections, how Biden, everybody's gone, Trump's coming back. There's obviously a chance to Trump returning. A lot of people believe that Trump's actually the Antichrist. But from this perspective, let's take a look at France. France just had Macron, let's call him Macron, because he's like the Oma, put back in power. And people were just like, huh? If you remember during the outbreak, this guy was beyond a dictator. He was like Trudeau style. He was enforcing shutdowns and all this stuff. And there was uprisings all over France. And we're supposed to believe that this guy was reelected. So the narrative from the media, of course, is, well, he was reelected because the other person was an extremely alt-right person who happened to be a woman, of course, which if it was, if it was the other way around, they would tell you it's a woman, so everybody's sexist because they didn't vote for her if she was a Democrat, because that's how this whole upside down is working right now, where nothing makes any sense with anything that they say. But they're telling you that Macron was elected back into power by the people. You can expect to see that here too, in America. Because when they start doing things like that, people start questioning if the democracy is real. Now they're revealing these things that we've all known that it's not. But they're going to go with the mindset, well, it's rigged. So it's rigged for the Democrats. The Democrats are doing things. They're paying off people. They're paying off corporations, that kind of a narrative. When in reality, everybody knows who's awake that there is no voting. It was never real, okay? But the rigged narrative will help them bring upon the destruction of democracies. So by keeping the liberal people in power, people will go, this isn't right. This makes no sense. Biden's poll numbers are so low. All we've heard about is how Republicans are going to take control, that nobody's voting for these people. I don't know anybody who's voting for these people, because really, does anyone really know anybody who's, voting for any of these people anyway? But even if they're voting for Republicans for the most part, right? How can anybody agree with some of this insanity that we're seeing going on, especially in schools and the things they want to do to kids, right? Well, because none of it's real. So people will start questioning more and more, which they already started with Trump. And then the last election with Biden, they will question more and more about elections being real. This will bring about, in my opinion, of course, revealing that the democracy is flawed, that this isn't a democracy. They've obviously been talking a lot about oh, this threatens our democracy. The democracy's gone. They've already destroyed the democracy on purpose. On purpose, and said, well, it's not destroyed. It's still here. It's just people are very bad, wicked, alt-right, that type of mindset, type of nonsense that they keep spewing out of their buttholes over and over again. In reality, the democracy that we think exists does not. And it might have at one point as far as the freedoms that we have, but they don't exist anymore. So to bring about a new world order, they need to destroy all the governments of the world. That means China too. And they're all in on it. They're all okay with this. You know why? Because they all worship Lucifer. And that's who they take their commands from. And I know people hear that, they're like, oh my gosh, this guy thinks Lucifer. These people are so stupid. They don't realize this is a spiritual war. They flat out tell you it is, and that's all they talk about is God and the devil in every movie and every music video. All the politicians, but then they push evolution onto them, and the idiots, and they believe evolution because they don't have anything in their head whatsoever, at all, in any way, shape, or form. So you can expect to see rigged elections as one of the next dominoes that falls to destroy democracy. This will cause the people on the right to rise. Right? And one of the things they want is an actual uprising. People message me and they write in the comment section, I'm sure you've all seen it, and they say, Cole, when are you going to take it to the streets? When are you going to uprise? Of course, there's been times where I've said I want to take it to the streets and do stuff because I get so riled up about how filthy and disgusting Satan and his minions are. But the reality is that's what they want. They want an uprising because they want people to start creating chaos, and they want it amongst the right and the left. And I'm not falling for it at all. I think the most important thing is the awakening process, is waking people up to it. People say, well, what is that going to do? Well, you stop participating in their government. We don't need them. They don't protect us. They don't do anything to help out our lives. All they do is take from all of us on every side, left, right, up, down, you name it. They take. They take your money. They make you sick, literally and physically. They get you drugged up. Everybody's got disease. I mean, this is all their creation. And when you start participating in their government by living your life outside of it, not depending on them and not needing them for anything, shutting off your television, then people actually can get out of this mess. Not by uprising and doing anything. You're never getting to these people. And God obviously wouldn't condone that. When I talk about an uprising with the name of my channel, I'm talking about a massive awakening. The uprising is the awakening. And when crap hits the fan, and if we feel there's a call for something like that to actually do something in the streets, of course, if I feel called to do it, I would do it. Or I'm sure if you felt it, you would too. But they want everyone to do that. And by doing things like this, by revealing the actual truth, these people are going to be worked into it. They aren't going to realize that they're being worked, that they want them to start creating chaos and lawfulness. Right? There's a reason that all this stuff's going on. There's a reason that they're defunding the cops. Not just, the cops are all Freemasons. There's a reason that they're doing it. They're doing it because they want to destroy democracy on purpose to create a new world government. So all the countries of the world are all doing this, and the leaders in power are deliberately doing it. But if they came out and said they were deliberately doing it, people would be like, no, stop this, arrest this guy. So what they do is they create these other problems and blame it on the problems. Oh, the outbreak. Oh, what's going on in Ukraine. Oh, hateful bigots. Oh, this. Oh, that. Well, they do nothing except blame. And then sides blame one another. And chaos ensues. And it goes back and it goes forth. And I call it the seesaw. Because once, it's always one side, it's up, the other side's down, and then it goes the other way. Now, right, all of a sudden, oh my goodness, the liberals don't have free speech temporarily. They think, or whatever they have planned here. Obviously, I talked about that on my other channel today, my backup channel, which I mentioned earlier for you guys to sub to, about Musk. He's not even in control yet, and they automatically come in here and put in the Ministry of Truth out of 1984, this disinformation board that's going to tell you what you can and can't say on the internet, to regulate the internet. That was the whole purpose of having Musk do it, because otherwise, how are they going to do it? They're only regulating one side. They want to regulate both sides. They want to regulate the left and the right. At some point, they want laws in place where everything is under their total control. That's why I constantly try to warn the left, the people who listen and troll and hate my guts. I don't care if you hate my guts. I have a pair of balls. I'm not afraid of, he doesn't like me. Ooh, my goodness, I'm not going to sleep, unlike people on the left who can't seem to sleep if you don't agree with their sexual preferences or their pronouns or anything like that. All I care is that you see what's going on here, that they're working you into this stuff, that nobody actually cares about your personal, preferences in your life. That's between you and God. What you do, you're accountable for on Judgment Day. So I really don't care. I just don't want to know about it. I don't want you in my face telling me it should be in schools and around kids and crap like that. And that's how everybody pretty much feels. But anyway, this rant that I'm doing here is just about telling you that truth is going to be revealed. We already see them revealing truth about what's going on in these underground rings. They don't tell you exactly what's going on, but the light is being shined on all. And it's all being shined on because they deliberately want to destroy democracy. That's what people have to get. It's never going back to the way it was, and it's only going to get worse on purpose. And when the Republicans, if it happens and they take control, it'll be the same thing. To bring about a new world order, democracy has to be destroyed. There isn't going to be a Senate. There isn't going to be parliaments. There isn't going to be a Congress. There'll be a world Congress. That's what it will be. A world Congress, not a, things by state. All this stuff has to be destroyed. And that's what they're working to do right now. So keep an eye on these fake elections that come up in November, because every single thing you hear is about how Biden is losing and how Biden's at the lowest approval rating ever. And of course, you can't say it's not on purpose, because how tone deaf can a human being possibly be to not see, that they're, can anybody evaluate it in the White House? We're supposed to believe these are educated people. Nobody sees that these people all look like lunatics, madmen, and are completely unstable and unhinged and don't have a clue about anything. It's on purpose. That's why the people on the right are so worked up, and they're going to work them up and work them up. And they want them to be worked up, because when they decide that, we're going to keep the liberals in power here, it's going to cause massive chaos, because people are going to go, you know what? Now, okay, everything's rigged. We dealt with Biden for a couple years. Now we're dealing with the Senate being taken over again by the Democrat. That's my opinion, of course, but I believe that's what it's going towards. And if the Republicans are put back in power in some way, shape, or form, it will be the same thing. It will be the same thing. To bring about a new world order, all democracy must be destroyed. And then a new set of rules are put in place. And that's why I constantly talk about the signs and the symbols on my channel. And what are the signs and the symbols, like the phoenix rising? What do they represent? What does the infinity sign represent? All of them. The eternal flame. It represents the rebirth. That's what they always talk about, a rebirth, but being infinite, that they're never stopping. They're just refacing themselves. They're giving themselves a new look, a new name. They're getting rid of what's already here, the system that's in place, and creating a new system. But the same people are going to be in charge. Just going to be way, way, way worse than it was. And they're going to convince people that it's what's needed. And that's what the Great Reset and all this other crap we hear about is all about. So don't buy in any of this stuff. The guy in France getting put back, Macron, whatever, however you pronounce it, getting put back into office. What a charade. What a charade. They were literally in the streets rioting, and people went to the polls, and they're like, yeah, but this woman's a little too extreme for me. We'll vote for the guy that was, quarantining us, locking us down, and shutting down our businesses. Same here in America. And people didn't even notice in November when they had these fake elections that a lot of these governors were staying in power, like the guy in California. Everybody fled the state. Who actually voted for this guy? Other than fake Hollywood celebrities who are told to pretend, to push liberalism on TV, they're fleeing California, like fleeing it, as if it's on fire, and literally they are putting it on fire on purpose, as we all know, with all sorts of attacks. Anyway, we'll get into that another time, which I've already gotten into a million times. So I wanted to rant about that. Just make sure you guys are aware and you see this stuff coming, because it's so easy to get drawn in to the left, right. When I try to watch both sides of it, and just see how they're making people feel, not watch it because I'm listening and actually getting worked into it, because I like to see, how are they psychologically working people, right? It's no different than watching, I always say, people watching. I'm sure a lot of you like to do that. You go out, you watch people, whoa, these people are weird, or what are they doing, right? I always talk about people being on their phones, walking into crap. Well, you got to watch these shows and think of the same thing, because all they're doing is trying to psychologically work you into a certain particular thing. Everything has an agenda behind it. Everything on television has an agenda behind it, or otherwise it wouldn't be on TV. That's why, people who fall into the Fox News thing. It wouldn't be on TV, okay? It wouldn't be on TV if they didn't want it to be there. It wouldn't be the most watched news network, quote unquote, if they didn't want it to be. all of it. So I watch those shows to see where they're working people, and I could see how people get sucked into the Republican side. People like us who are, Christians who, obviously the stuff on the left is so sick and insane. We literally have mentally insane people with a voice, which is something that should be taken away. But, not free speech wise. I mean, they should just be committed, a lot of these people. You know what I'm talking about. But it's all to work everyone up into a frenzy against one another with the ultimate goal of destroying this fake republic, this fake democracy. Like Obama said, the end of the republics never look better. Well, it's over. It's over. And now they literally need to do the last detonation on it so that they can bring about, and as the phoenix rises from the ashes, bring about their new global government. So expect more chaos.